All right, guys. So we got playoff baseball finally starting, and a few clips that I want to go over that can help you guys understand what makes a winning player, what actually allows you to have success at a high level in college baseball, in the professional ranks. And this first clip, obviously, going to be about position players, a play that happened with the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers in the fifth inning here with 2 outs, runners on first and second. A couple of guys that I actually played with in my pro career, Jose Iglesias, who's hitting. I was in big league camp with the Reds with him. And then Tyrone Taylor, who's the base runner on second. I played with him in AA and AAA with Milwaukee before he ended up making up the big leagues. Now he's playing on the Mets. And I want to go watch. We're going to watch this clip, and I'm going to go over kind of what I see from a guy who played at a high level professionally, so you guys can have an idea of kind of what makes a player a winning type player, and we'll go over it after the clip.
Walmore.
Yep. Yeah, that ball was smoked, almost 102. Oh, that play flagged down by Hoskins, leads over to Payamp, safe. And here comes the run in as Taylor is able to score, and we're tied up at 4.
And so, guys, this is what makes this play happen. One, Iglesias crushes this ball to first base, right? And what I see a lot of high school guys do in travel baseball and high school baseball is as soon as that ball's caught by the first baseman, they shut it down and they just jog the rest of the way because they know they're out, right? In their head, they know they're out. There's no way they're going to beat that ball to the bag. And what Iglesias does is he's busting it right out of the box. I mean, this is a bang play at first. If he doesn't go hard immediately here, he's out. Innings over. Mets don't tie the game. And, Milwaukee gets out of a jam and they get momentum going into the bottom of the fifth. The other thing is this: Tyrone Taylor's on second base. And what does he do? He doesn't just start jogging when the ball gets hit hard to first base. He's sprinting and he's keeping. And what happens? Pitcher gets off the mound a little bit low. Well, Tyrone third, keeping it, sees that the pitcher's has his back turned. Pitcher messes up twice here. Gets off the mound really slow, hesitates, and then secondly, steps on the bag, assumes it's an out. When he hears the safe call, he turns around, but it's too late. Tyrone gets in easily at home plate, not even a throw. And these are two guys that if either one of them is not hustling, this run does not score. If Iglesias is not hustling down the line, he's out at first. If Tyrone Taylor isn't hustling from second all the way to home, even if Iglesias is safe at first, he's probably not going to get sent, or he's probably not going to be close enough to home plate to kind of finish and get called safe at home plate. He's going to be thrown out, or he's just going to shut it down. He's probably going to shut it down if he's jogging off the bat. So, guys, if you want to impress coaches, this is the kind of play that coaches love. This is what makes them fall in love with the player, because they know what's in here, and they know you're tough, and they know you're going to play the game hard. That's what coaches want to see. So this spring and summer coming up, when you're in situations like this, or you're up by 5, or you're down by 5, or whatever, you got to play every game like it's a playoff game in the major leagues. You got to run every ball out. Who knows who's there to watch you play? A lot of times coaches go incognito. Everyone assumes that every time a coach goes out to watch players, that they're in their school gear, and it's very easy to identify where they're at and who they are. But a lot of coaches like to go in incognito sometimes so that a player doesn't know they're there, and they get a sense of what the player's really like when a coach isn't there watching it. What's his attitude look like? How does he treat his teammates? How does he hustle? Everything like that. So, guys, use this play as an example of the way you want to play the game once baseball season starts back up. I know some guys are still playing fall ball, and use this to how you're going to play in Jupiter. If you're playing fall ball, play like this in Jupiter. Run everything out. Don't be the cool guy. And this is the problem, guys. Some of you guys are afraid to bust it out of the box and run hard because you're afraid your teammates are going to say, like, man, what are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? If everyone's doing it, you're not sticking out by doing it. The way you stick out in front of college coaches is you're doing things that other people won't do. You hit a routine ground ball to short, you're busting out of the box. I had to do that. I was a speed guy. I had to bust it out of the box every time One, because I knew I'd get some hits that way because guys are going to be slow getting rid of the ball. But also, I wanted the coach to see my times to first every single time they were there to watch me. So you have to have that approach. And I think this clip is a great example of what you can do in that regard. So our next clip, guys, is going to go more towards the pitching side. And we're going to talk about really what is the separator for pitchers going up the ladder. Because a lot of you are going to say velocity. A lot of you guys are going to say spin rate. I've gotten a lot of flack for saying, guys, like the pitchers that are getting drafted high in the draft, like sure they have velocity, but it's because they have elite command of their stuff. And I'll go in depth of that kind of after we look at this clip. But I want you to take a look at where 90% of the pitches Will Vest is throwing. Where do they end up? And a lot of these are just fastballs. But where are his fastballs ending up in the zone?
Now from Tarek Skubal, and I'm
is really good at putting his head up at the top.
And there's really only one that he throws in the heart of the zone. Right? And so that's the difference, guys. Like I played at the highest levels of the minor leagues, AA and AAA. You face guys with this kind of velocity all the time. Every team has bullpen guys that are throwing upper 90s. Most starters are in the mid 90s. So I think what a lot of you guys don't understand, and guys that didn't play at a professional level think, oh, he's throwing 95. That's why he's getting drafted. It's like that's a dime a dozen. Guys that throw 95 in professional baseball, everybody's got 100 of them. Even the upper 90s guys at the high levels of the minor leagues, that's every bullpen. That's, like I said, that's very common. When you see a bullpen guy that throws 98 as a hitter at that level, you're not like, oh my gosh, this guy throws 98. I mean, that's what you're just like, oh, okay, he throws 98. That's what I face almost every day out of the bullpen. Again, you got your specialists that are kind of your lefty sidearm guys and stuff like that. But most of your right-handed pitchers at that level, they either throw high 90s or they have elite breaking stuff that they're going to use a lot. That's really what you see. Now, what's the separator for pitchers? Think about Paul Skeens, guys. Throws 100. I mean, unbelievable talent, unbelievable stuff across the board. But what's the one thing he does really well? Every single pitch, he knows where it's going. Every single pitch, he's got a great idea of how to command it, not only for a strike, but for a very hard strike to hit. And that's the separator, guys, for you as pitchers. What you guys have to understand is velocity is not this huge gatekeeper that it used to be. Everyone's seeing velocity more and more now. And this is the thing, especially when you get to the professional level, velocity is not anything that any hitter is going to be worried about. You're used to seeing at that stage. It's about, okay, how does he command his off speed? Does he mix it up effectively? Does he really fall into any kind of pattern? That's what you're looking for at an advanced level. You're not worried about velocity. Are there going to be guys that have that kind of ride four seam that's tough to catch up to? Sure. I'm not saying that velocity is never going to have some kind of effect. All I'm saying is that at the high school level and the college level, velocity is much more of a gatekeeper for a hitter's success because they just don't face it enough. When you get to, that's why you see so many pitchers that are dominant in college baseball and they get to pro ball and they're just not, because the velocity was the one thing that allowed them to have a lot of success. And then when you get to pro ball, it's not the same. Hitters are much more used to that at that level. So guys, if you're a pitcher at home, just look at this clip. Where are his fastballs landing? Where is it? He throws a changeup in there as well. His pitches are all around the edge of the zone. Some of them directly on the line, some of them a little bit inside. He's not missing in that middle circle heart of the zone that I've talked about in the past, where every hitter is going to hit, their numbers are much higher than other parts of the zone. If you're landing on those, that fringe part of the zone, it's very difficult for hitters to have success. If you're consistently landing your pitches in the middle of the zone, it doesn't matter what kind of stuff you have. It's just an easier pitch for guys to get on top of or get into offensively. So, guys, these two clips, I just want to tell you guys kind of what I see in them and what a guy who, again, I was a 290 career hitter over my professional career. Most of that career, 5-6 years in AAA. So, the way I look at the game is different than your travel coach or, your guy at your facility. I see the game differently because I played at a very high level. And I want you guys to kind of understand how I see the game. And because I think right now you guys are hearing a lot of stuff that is great, but it's not the whole picture. And again, a coach does not care what your metrics are if you're not a baseball player, if you're not going to get on the field, if you're a guy that can't put it together in the game, but man, he's got a lot of potential. Nowadays with recruiting, with all these changes, they're not looking for that guy. And the same thing with pitching. More and more and more and more, what coaches are looking for are guys that can command 2 or 3 pitches for strikes. No longer do you care if the guy throws 95 if he has no idea where it's going, because you have to be able to trust the guy to come in and get outs. And if you think, hey, he may walk the house and then we're done for, we got to use another guy to get out of that jam. And now we got almost no chance of winning because team has bases loaded with no outs. That guy's not going to pitch very long. He may get a couple outings to see if he can figure out. After that, high-level college baseball, he's not going to pitch the rest of the season. So, guys, use these clips. Use what I've talked about. Apply them in your game. Again, pitchers, work on your command. I'm not saying don't work on velocity. Work on velocity as much as you can, but you have to be able to evaluate yourself. If you can't throw strikes consistently with your fastball, we got to improve that. I mean, you've got to be able to throw strikes with your fastball. But if you can't really throw strikes with your breaking stuff, your changeup, that has got to be a huge priority, because in the college game now, velocity is still going to be something that you can get away with. But if you can't command off speed for strikes and you're just constantly in 2-0 counts, or you're constantly having to throw a fastball in hitters' counts, you're going to get touched. And you're just going to get slapped around the ballpark. So position players, pitchers, watch these clips. Hope this guy helps guys. And we'll be doing some more of these reactions, obviously, with the playoffs going on, and plays that kind of I see that I think can help you guys understand just how to be better baseball players. And at the end of the day, that's my goal. And that's the goal at Elite Sports Advising, is to just help our clients understand what coaches are looking for, what they love to see out of their players. That way they're as recruitable as possible when it comes to spring and summertime. So appreciate all the support you guys have put on the video, guys. And we'll be back with another one soon.